Hi, welcome back to AutoReview. My name is Patrick and today I'm presenting you a 2017 Subaru XV. So this one is the XV 2.0i Swiss2 Lineartronic. So Lineartronic means it has a 6-speed automatic gearbox with the pedal shifts on the steering wheel. We have a 150 horsepower 2-liter engine. The 150 horsepower are at 6,200 RPM. The maximum torque is 196 Newton meters at 4,200 RPM. 0 to 100 in 10.7 seconds and a top speed of 187 kilometers per hour. I had a fuel consumption around 7.4 liters with mostly 90% highway on the last 3 days. The average of the car is approximately around 9.2, so anything between there you should have ideal fuel consumption. We have an all-wheel drive system here, and as usual I'll show you the car from outside, first, second row, the boot space, and then we hit the road. Enjoy. Alright, so the XV from the inside or the interior of it. The setup of the dashboard and steering wheel, button layout and so on is pretty much the same as in the Subaru Lineartronic that I already reviewed. So please check on the top right the eye and head over there if you want to have more information. So we're going to make this a little bit shorter. Quickly, obviously the buttons for the mirrors as well as the windows. Then we have the ESP on and off, the start-stop automatic, we can set the tire pressure warning system. Steering wheel, what I like is this orange stitching, which actually continues through the gear knob, as well as the stitching on the armrest and the seats. We have here kind of, I don't know, it looks like leather, but it's some kind of material. However, it looks very, very nice. So we have leather wrapped steering wheel, the armrest and the shift knob. Then, as I mentioned, we have a 6-speed automatic gearbox in here, the Lineartronic, with the manual option of shifting right up and left down. And the control buttons here, as I mentioned, please check the Lineartronic video for that. Clear instrument cluster, very good. We have a touchscreen system here with the shortcut buttons on the left and the right, which work well. In this one, we do not have a GPS system, so no navigation. You can obviously get one. It costs around 1,950 Swiss francs. And on top we have a second or third screen in addition to the one in the dashboard and the one in the middle, which gives you information on fuel consumption, the last 30 minutes of driving, how the all-wheel drive system is distributed throughout the driving, and so on and so on. Now, as I mentioned, fuel consumption was, in my case, over 200 kilometers, 7.4 liters on average. With the whole car not being resetted from the beginning with around 8.7 now. However, we started at 9.2. So I would reckon anything 7.4 to 9.2, 9.4 will be realistic. We have one aux in, 2 USB ports, which is super nice. Thank you much for that. And one 12-volt power socket, which you can convert again to another USB port. There, small items can fit here, for example, opening of the garage. Then 2 cup holders, which one is lower, one is higher. We have heated seats here in 2 seconds for driver and passenger. And we have the armrest with a compartment in here with another 12-volt power socket over there. Glove box is decent. It's not too small, not too big. Just leave the big, heavy instruction manual at home. And then we have mirror on the driver's side and mirror on the passenger side. However, they're not illuminated. All right, so this much that. Let's hop in the second row and check how much space we have there. Alright, so space in the back in the XV. As you can see, I have plenty of knee room and leg room. Very comfortable. It's the incline of the seats is more towards the back, so it's more relaxed. It's not very upright. We have the electric windows obviously here, which are tinted from the B-pillar onwards all around the car, basically. We have small pockets in the doors, which accommodates smaller bottles, 0.5 liters, and three headrests, three 3-point seat belts. The one is actually mounted in the boot that you can basically fiddle through here, and then you have another one here, and that's pretty much it. I mean, we have some hooks to attach something to, something to hold on to, one pocket on the passenger seat backside, none behind the driver, no USB ports, no vents, nothing whatsoever. However, it's simple, 2 isofix left and right, and I have plenty of headroom and space for the passengers in the back. However, we have a transmission tunnel which is quite high, not too wide, so you will have enough space to put the feet left and right of it. Will do a job, enough space, that's most important. Let's check the boot. Alright, so the XV from the back. First of all, you see we have Centralgarage Tune. Centralgarage Tune is the one who provided me this car, so thank you very much for that. Just head down to the link that is provided in the description to find more information, or to maybe schedule a test drive and ask them if you have any questions. Alright, so as you can see from the design point of view, we have the covers over the fenders, which basically prevent damages in case you go a bit off-road, because this is an all-wheel drive. Then in this car we do not have the parking sensors, neither in the front or in the back. However, we do have a built-in camera, reverse camera. Then what I really like is the design of the back. It looks really nice with the white lights, which are completely white, and then we just have this red stripe around the blinker. Then we have Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive on the left side written, XV 6-star edition. As I mentioned, 6-star edition is the 3,000 franc premium that you get off at the moment. And we have a little roof spoiler. Let's open it up. And from the boot space, we have a nice cover here on top. There we go. Open it up. We have a nice cover here. Let me just close it up for you. It's a little bit fiddly because you have to match the support here. We have a third seat belt here, which you can basically get through here. Boot space is nice. We have a second floor with small space below that. However, it's not flat when you fold down the seats. It goes up a little bit. Just keep that in mind. You can obviously fold the seats 1/3, 2/3. We have a little light on the left and 2 kind of round hooks here on the right and left. And that's pretty much it. So let's close it up. Let's drive. All right, let's drive. And let me start with the things that I don't like, because right away I have the first one here. Every time you turn off the car and you basically get back into the car, you want to engage cruise control, like with the rocker up and down. It's not working because you have to first engage the cruise control, which is something annoying. It should be a button. When you press it, it's always engaged or disengaged. First thing. Second thing is, in the Swiss1 and Swiss2, there's no option to order xenon lights in addition to this thing. So you have to go for the Swiss3 edition, which costs obviously more. 2 things. Third thing is, although we have quite a lot of screens here and everything, it's kind of outdated, I would have to say, because it's too many screens, first of all. In too many places you have to control it. It was the same thing about the Subaru Levorg that I mentioned. To control that screen, you have to use this rocker here up and down. To control this one, obviously here. Then to switch from A to B trip, you have to use this one here. So I would have liked that everything is controlled easier either through the buttons over the steering wheel or in the central dash navigation screen. Fourth thing is the navigation. You can order it on top on any of the 3 lines. However, it costs 1,950 Swiss francs, which is quite a lot. And fifth thing is the parking sensors. I have no idea what's the thing with Subaru and parking sensors. Again, it was the same thing with the Levorg. They cost a whopping 1,300 Swiss francs on top of whatever trim level you choose. 1,300 for parking sensors, it's a lot. Okay, this one here, the Swiss2, comes with reverse parking camera. However, parking sensors is something standard, and you get it even in the smallest city cars even. Either as an option or already built in. Yeah? So these 5 things. Now, what I like about the car is the visibility. Even though we have this C-pillar, it's kind of big, we have a little window inside, which makes it easier to see. Then the visibility in front is really good. We have a high glass, how do you call it, front windshield, which allows me to see everything. We have good size mirrors. They're not too small. I like them as well. You can fold them electrically, which is, again, I would say, okay, rather than having electric folding mirrors, why don't you have parking sensor instead? Because, to be honest, how often do you use that? The right quality and the right comfort is really high. Because obviously it's a 4x4, we are elevated, it's very easy to get in and out. For example, if it's an older person or someone who doesn't like to get in low in the sports car, this is very easy to get in and out. I do prefer this car with automatic, I have to say, because it's just more comfortable, it makes more sense to me. And the characteristic of the 6-speed automatic with the engine works well together. Just one side note, the 5th and 6th gear I felt are very long. So, for example, I was not able to engage 6th gear before 83 kilometers an hour. Yeah, it just doesn't let me. So even if I put it in manual, now I'm driving 61 at 1,450 RPM, and obviously I cannot engage 6th gear because the speed is too low. And see, and if I now 5th gear and I accelerate, it will blink to shift down, because otherwise it will just not pick up, Yeah, and I mentioned, you need at least 83 kilometers an hour, which is actually a good thing, because that means, because of the last 2 gears being longer, you have the possibility to save fuel, which I managed, as I mentioned. Just before starting really city traffic, I was driving quite a lot of highway, and I managed 7.2. Then it went up to 7.4. Now again we were standing, the engine was idle. It's 7.6. Then you have this little gimmick screen here. You have this little gimmick screen here where you see how the wheels are turned. So when you go off-roading or off-road, and you see which wheels are actually powered or where the power is sent to. So let's just engage cruise control. So now it all goes to all 4 wheels. One more thing about the cruise control, I don't know if I mentioned it, is not only the engaging thing, which is a little bit annoying every time you turn on and off, it only starts at 40 kilometers an hour. So if you're in a 30 kilometer an hour zone, you can't engage the cruise control. And this is something I really don't like. Doesn't matter which car, even if it will be a Ferrari or whatever Bentley, if you can't engage cruise control in a 30 kilometer speed zone, it's not good. Because there's a lot of speed cameras, and I see it here in Interlaken area as well, where I live. We have a lot of the speed cameras nowadays, which are in 30 kilometer hour zones, and it's kind of annoying to always keep your foot on the gas and maybe get into the area where you will get flashed because you don't pay attention. Okay, let's just squeeze in. The pickup is very good. So now see, I'm accelerating, and already we are at 50. That's good. What I like about the cruise control, you have a 1 kilometer steps, which is nice as well. And a nice gimmick what I like as well is this manual fuel, how do you call it? Fuel, not fuel gauge, but fuel consumption gauge. So it basically, as an average now we have 7.6, right? So it will set the average at 7.6. And every time you go above 7.6, it goes to the plus side. Every time you go below, or are below, it goes to the minus side, which is nice. We have heated seats, which is good. We have 2 settings, driver and passenger, low and high. We have these compartments, which are nice and handy. We have 2 USB ports, which is nice as well. And yeah, overall, the ride quality is good in this car. Yeah, it's not super direct. So if you see, if I steer, it has a little bit of a, I wouldn't call it delay, but obviously it's built for comfort, not for sporty driving. If you want sporty Subaru, go for the Levorg or go for the WRX STI. These are sporty Subarus. This is a family car, or good for people who like to sit a little bit higher. It obviously has an all-wheel drive system that allows you to Now, see, we're gonna go up the hill into the snow, and there is no issues whatsoever with driving in the mountains in the snow. And this car is very popular for that matter, because now we have end of April. Yeah, it's end of April, and again it started snowing. Yeah, tomorrow is supposed to be 10 degrees and sunshine. So the weather conditions here change quite often, quite a lot. And I just see a nice place where I could make a video, next video, if I'm allowed to get in there. Okay, so let's now go up the hill and we'll see how it drives on the B road, climbing. Obviously we're gonna go into the snow. Now, price for this one is just around 30,000 and a bit for the Swiss2 edition. However, as I mentioned, this is the 6-star edition, which has a little plug-in, and the carpets have 6-star edition on it, and it's written on a plaque in the back of the car as well, which is good. One thing that I would like to mention as well is, with the XV, Subaru has some nice colors for this car, and they look really stunning. Yeah, they have a nice blue, they have a nice red, like a rich red, and they have an orange, and the orange one is really, really nice. I mean, I would go, if I would get this car, I would go for that one. However, most of the XV buyers, apparently, as far as I'm informed, tend to go for the usual black, silver, kind of this gray, which looks nice. But they're not brave enough to go for colors. And I think you should get this car with a nice bright color, because it just stands out and it makes it much more appealing, I would say. So that's pretty much it. We're heading up the mountain. Unfortunately, we have a slow rental car tourist in front of us, who obviously sees snow for the first time in his life and drives very, very slow. Where we have quite a lot of here in this area. And actually he's making space, which is nice. Thank you. And we have another Subaru in front of us, a Justy. So the Justy is not produced anymore. Maybe Subaru will come back with it. It's kind of a small Subaru. But overall, I like the automatic. I like the ability to shift manually. I like that the gears are long. So especially the 5th and 6th gear are long to save fuel, which is good. The engine, 150 horsepower is sufficient. Top speed either way doesn't make a difference in Switzerland or anywhere outside of Germany, because everywhere you have speed limits. And the all-wheel drive in conditions like this is just great to have. You see it goes all 4 wheels, it's nice. And it's so funny that we have snow again, unbelievable. A couple of days ago I was driving motorcycle. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Yeah, if you subscribe, please hit the bell button, so you will be notified when there's a new video coming out. Usually around every week, if I'm able to produce enough videos. Give it a thumbs up. Ask if you have any questions. Wow, all-wheel drive is good. Just ask any questions if you have. Leave comments below, and watch all the other videos if you're interested. Head over to Bettschen and Centralgarage, where I get this car from, and that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.